to do it because I was like, great, he's going to do it for me.
Yeah. And then you could, adjust it to what you want it to be after you put it together. Turn it just a little bit.
I got to drop some of that headspace at the top. All right. Hold on.
Don't cut off my shoulder. Don't cut off my shoulder.
Okay. Let me move it over a
all
little
my
bit.
shoulder in the shot.
You want your shoulder in the shot.
There you go. Absolutely.
All right. Here we go, y'all.
Are we live?
Yes, we are live. Welcome to the Pussy Power Hour.
Yes, welcome everybody to the Pussy Power Hour, where we give you vaginal victories through information and education about your yummy Yoni. Pun intended. My name is Kai Haru Rama, and I'm the founder of the Holistic Health Awareness Team, which is a group of naturopathic doctors and holistic physicians who specialize in a variety of holistic services, products, and modalities, most of which are energy therapies. My area of focus and concentration is in something called meridian therapy tapology, which can best be described as acupuncture without the needles. And to my right, my lovely host here, tell them who you are and what you do.
My name is Teray May, and I am the owner and CEO of Yoni Steam and Wellness, where we provide a number of vaginal rejuvenation services here, from Yoni steaming to waxing, full body waxing, to non-invasive vaginal tightening. We provide a number of vaginal rejuvenation services, even when it comes to therapy as well. We are... What episode is this? I don't even know. I lost count.
Like 150. But what we do want to talk about is in 2 weeks, right? In 2 weeks, we're going to have a special guest online. And in fact, we're going to do what you call an in-studio podcast, where we will have a studio audience right here in the live studio audience right here in studio. And we're going to have Dr. Stephanie Finney. She's going to come in and talk about some very, very interesting and very good feminine products for women. You want to be here she's going to give a demonstration on that, as well as you'll be able to ask questions. It's going to be an excellent time. So make sure 2 Wednesdays from now at 12 o'clock, it's going to be the 18th. You do not want to
make sure that you guys tune in. We're going to have a live audience, so I'm going to post about it, but you're more than welcome to come in and be a part of the live show. That way you're able to ask questions. But if not, we're going to be live, so you're more than welcome to tune into the live as well. So what was that? Someone said, "You are the best. I'm driving though, so gotta go." Okay. Love you, baby. And so we're going to be having that as well. So at the beginning of our Pussy Power Hours, first of all, we've been MIA.
No.
And that's due to me during
Get it right. I will MIA.
That's due to me because during the month of Ramadan, I do not. I choose Ramadan to refine. To refine means to make pure again, to make clean, to wash away what is not beneficial to your growth and development, and, to make pure again. And so for me, I really focus on that during the month of Ramadan. Ramadan is one of my favorite months of the year. Unfortunately, I had a lot going on during Ramadan. This Ramadan really tested me. Really did test me. It really did.
But you passed the test.
I think I'm confident I did. I'm confident
You're here.
I did. Yeah, I'm here. Ramadan, my dad had a stroke. So that was very intense on me. We're from Brooklyn, New York, so my dad is over 360 miles away. So, and I'm a daddy's girl. Like, me and my daddy is like this. So, that was very, very hard to see my dad like that. My dad is a pretty healthy guy. And so, it was very intense for me to see him like that. And I'm his power of attorney.
Wow.
So it's like they were calling me for everything. I have a phone call I got to make after this podcast, matter of fact. And then my car was giving me all sorts of trouble.
Oh, that means you're going to get a new one. That's all that
means. Last month. And the money I spent to have it repaired was extremely ridiculous. So that was that. And then it was just, I was going through, I had a good month fiscally, but emotionally, it was very intense for me. I found myself like even sad some days.
Well, I guess that's where the testing and the power, especially during the Ramadan period, that's where it all comes into play. Because, you know, the universe usually doesn't test people who aren't prepared. Why would you test somebody who hasn't studied?
Right.
So the fact that you were tested during that time, and it looks like, you know, even if you either made it look good or you came out with flying colors. So either way, you're looking good.
I don't let them see me sweat.
There you go. Yeah. And before we get started into the podcast, as always, we try to bring something new, something different, something informational, so that you can take advantage of it. We have a product here called VirusStan, right? It's the first of its kind product because, you know, this is a sanitizer that actually is natural. Keep in mind this, 99% of the sanitizers, be they hand sanitizers and otherwise, are extremely toxic and are almost as bad or worse for you than the virus you're going to get. Because whatever you put on your skin absorbs to your bloodstream within 30 seconds. So if you've got poison in this, then of course that's going to get to your bloodstream in less than 30 seconds. But with something like this, it's all natural, no added alcohol, no added chemicals, and it's GMO, genetically modified. There's no genetically modified organisms in it. You can spray this on your food, your vegetables, your fruit. You can actually spray it on your person. You can actually take this internally. You can take it internally, and this kills 170 different pathogens in under 2 minutes. That's COVID-19, COVID-20, COVID-50, all of that. Flus, colds, Ebola. This kills all of those within 2 minutes. Stays on for 8 hours. And, you know, if you want more information on it, hey, get in touch with us. It is available for purchase. Okay, so VirusStan sanitizer, you cannot buy it in stores. Okay, you cannot get it off the phone. You can only get it from a VirusStan person who sells VirusStan. Okay, very, very good.
I know with the light it's a little bit hard to see it.
All righty then. We have a couple of subject matters on tap. I had a young lady I talked to earlier, or a little bit of late last week, and she was asking, I asked, what is it that you want to see on the show? And she began to speak about how she was struggling with her life, and she's decided to turn her Yoni off when she went through her struggle. So basically you can see that as being celibate or no activity on the Yoni. And what I was telling her is no matter what you got going on, you got to keep the Yoni included on that. Even if it's not a man in that activity, keep yourself active.
That's what I was going to say. So when you say off, I mean, did she say she was not self-pleasuring?
Nothing. And you know, self-pleasuring has been demonized in this country and in our culture for so long. And it's crazy because we're the most sexualized society on earth. Yet, you know, masturbation and or self-pleasuring has been demonized. And that's the safest sex is sex with yourself. Okay?
It is.
So she
the
said,
safest sex is sex with yourself.
She said she turned off and didn't do anything. And, you know, she was wondering why she had such a struggle in her life. I say, well, that's a part of your life and your struggle. So you got to keep active with that. So if we want to, we can touch upon the whole self-pleasuring and or not cutting off the Yoni as you go through your struggle.
I don't agree with cutting it off.
Absolutely
not. I don't agree with not having no kind of intimacy with yourself. Especially for women.
So you're for it.
I'm for it. Yeah, I'm for not turning it off.
Now it's interesting the way you worded it. You said intimacy with yourself.
Yes.
I've never heard it said that way. I'm going to steal that from you.
Okay.
After you heard it here, it's mine now. Okay. So intimacy with yourself, that's a beautiful way and a very accurate way to put that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something.
And the reason why I say that is because self-pleasure, like when I'm self-pleasuring, it's not just my yoni. I play with my nipples, and playing with my nipples, that's also like self-intimacy. You know, I'm loving on myself. When you're intimate with yourself, you are learning. That's another form of learning how to love yourself.
And that's exactly what I told her. I said, you can't just cut it off, because it's not what the man is necessarily doing to you or for you. You have to do that for yourself.
Yes.
And let's say you're married and there comes a time in your marital relationship where he's not giving you the love that you need. Guess what? You can give you the love that you need until he gets back in line or gets back on point, so that you don't feel at any time you're getting no less love than you deserve. So that's your place and your responsibility to do that for yourself. But we have to take the demonization, the discrediting, and the invalidation out of self-pleasuring. That's just not something nasty to do. I think for the most part that keeps us going.
I have had clients who will tell me, oh, I'm not sexually active. And like I tell them, and this is actually information or knowledge that I thought I picked up from you one time, but let me know. The vagina develops something called atrophy.
Absolutely.
Right? And atrophy is, for those of you that do or don't know, atrophy is when blood stops flowing to a specific part of the body.
Absolutely.
Right? That's what atrophy is. So, for example, if you get like, I don't know why I have the word brain freeze in my head, but when your limbs or, you know,
let's say you tie your hand behind your back and don't use it for 3 months. Okay. Or
even if you, like, I was thinking, like, if you go to like skiing or something like that, and your hands, you know, your extremities get really cold, you know, after a while, frostbite. I don't know if that's accurate, but and what happens is blood has stopped flowing to that part of the hand, and if that happens long enough, they're going to have to sever whatever it is that is no longer receiving the blood flow.
Let me offer another example for those of people who have diabetes mellitus or sugar diabetes to the point it's so bad that they have clogging in their veins, arteries, capillaries, and arterioles, not allowing the blood to flow to like the lower extremities. And the foot turns black, and then they have to cut it off because of gangrene. It's because there's no blood flow, and that foot will atrophy.
Yeah.
Okay. No activity, like you say, no blood flow.
And that happens in the vagina. When you stop using the vagina, blood stops flowing to your vagina.
Because when you get aroused,
and it stops working.
Right. When you get aroused as a woman, and you are thinking, I'm aroused, I want to be with this man or whatever, this woman, and that energy and that blood flow goes to that area, that brings nutrients to that area.
Yes.
It brings vibrance and energy to that area. And if you cut that off, saying, no, I'm not going to be sexually active, then you're cutting off a whole part of your feminine divine power. Your feminine
that sacral power. Energy.
Sacral energy.
That sacral chakra, like that is.
And the same thing happens to men. Probably even more so, because the blood flow is what engorges the penis shaft so that he can get an erection. So the less you have blood going to that area, that erection is going to become more and more and more ineffective, and thus develop an atrophy. And sometimes when it's that way for so long, now it's a difficult process to get the blood in that area. Now
that's what that saying come from. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it.
Absolutely. That is a very, very real statement. So so you're saying you do definitely believe in a woman having self-pleasure in order to keep
self-intimacy. Yes, because, and then a lot of times you'll find that a lot of women will chase a man only to feel validated sexually, because she feels like that's the only thing that they have in common. That's the only reason why he's there. So sometimes she, you know what I mean, she'll give him the sex just to get him there, because she don't want to be by herself. And when you learn how to have self-intimacy and you learn how to self-pleasure, you are eliminating a lot of these things. These are your chasing ghosts. So when you start to pleasure or play with yourself, or however you want to say it, masturbate, whatever you want to, however you want to categorize it.
I like the self-pleasure or the intimacy with self, because masturbate is more, that's, I think, where we get the demonization of to masturbate and to do it simply for the pleasure. Sure, that's one reason to do it. But consider this. I heard a guy after a basketball game, he said, I went on the court after a basketball game, after all those screaming fans. He said, I could feel the energy on the court. I could feel the energy still on the court after everybody had left. The energy was still on the court. So there is something called energy, and it's invisible. We can't see it, yes, but it's real nonetheless. So when you are producing sexual energy, you can use that for concentration, for meditation. Concentration for meditation. So it's not uncommon for women in some African countries to get together, get a big floor. Everybody's, of course, nude. Their foot to foot. There might be 5 in a circle, and everybody has their feet joined together, and they're all self-pleasuring simultaneously, and they're expanding this so that the energy in the room can be collectively focused towards concentration for meditation. Meditation, you can meditate without concentrating, and you can concentrate without meditation. But when you concentrate for meditation purposes, you can use that energy in a laser beam focus. And let's say, okay, I want to concentrate on this person doing this, this, and that. We can all give our collective energy to push that concentration towards that meditation. And people are paid money for those sessions because, okay, can you make this happen for me? Can you make that? It is all energy that's laser beam focused. So
I think I know what you're talking about. So at one time I was watching this report of this history about this therapist who would would pleasure his clients. He would play with them until they nut.
Well,
and that was
no.
Yeah. That's what he did. He was he was some kind of therapist. I'm not accurate on what it's called. I'm gonna actually look it up. And he would, they would make an appointment with him, and however he was in his studies or in his lessons, he learned where females' self-pleasure points was. He would pleasure them, and then that was his therapy. Like he was the doctor.
That's a heck of a practice. I would love that. But here's the deal. I'm talking I'm talking about sister power, where you all are doing it yourselves.
Yes.
And you have a circuit of energy because you're all foot to foot. Okay,
I get it.
So you're all in a circle, and you're all foot to everybody's touching feet, so that energy the circuit is not broken, and everybody simultaneously is self-pleasuring, and they're expanding that. You're not getting it just to get a release.
How would y'all feel about that? How would y'all feel being in a room with
5 other women, 3 other women, 10 other women,
and everybody is just self-pleasuring?
Now see, they had temples that were dedicated to this kind of thing back in early Egyptian culture, Lemurian culture, Atlantean culture, Hyperborean culture. These are advanced civilizations that we are so far from, but they did these things as a way of concentration towards meditation. Did they get self-pleasure out of it? Of course they did. But for this society, we see that as something, oh my God, that's blasphemous, or that's what we consider nasty. But no. This is a particular energy that you can harness between women. And what's interesting, men can't do that same thing. This is only something that women can do. You understand what I'm saying? So,
sex is, and like you were saying before with male sperm and how it's a life force and things of that nature. I know for me, even like in the morning time, I find that's when I self-pleasure the most. Not the most, like a lot in the morning, but that typically seems to be when I want to.
Everybody has their schedule.
And I feel like when I get up after I nut, like I feel good, like I'm ready to start my day.
Everybody has
I don't know how many other females start their day with self-pleasuring, but even before bed at night.
Now,
helps me sleep better.
With clients, I discover their schedule because, okay, you ask yourself the question: when am I the most willing to want to involve myself in sensual expression? Is it 12 a.m. to 6 a.m.? Is it 6 a.m. to 12 p.m.? Is it 12 p.m. to 6 p.m.? Or is it 6 p.m. to 12 a.m.? Okay, and it sounds like maybe your schedule is more 6 a.m. to the 12 p.m. because in that morning time, that's when you're most liable or most energetic towards sensual expression. So we all have our schedules, but in response to the young lady who said, well, you know, I got a lot of things going on in my life, so I had to cut that side of me out. No, you don't. In fact, I would say that's the side that you definitely need to keep moving and keep active.
Now, I can get that she don't want to exchange energies with someone.
Correct. I get that. Mm-hmm. I get that part. Mm-hmm. But you still have to create the activity and energy for yourself. And as you said, this is all about self-intimacy, self-affection, because if you can't do that for yourself, how can you, really do it for somebody else? How can you really do it for somebody else? So I know you had a subject matter that you wanted to discuss about the power. Give me that.
And our podcast is called the Pussy Power Hour, right? And so I really wanted to really get you guys involved and ask you guys, to what extent does the pussy, or how much power do the pussy really have? Mm-hmm. Because I think about it in aspects like this. You still see a lot of men who get paid in the corporate world more money than women do. Mm-hmm. So where's the power in that pussy? And sometimes as well, you'll find that a lot of women fall victim to the dick.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
I mean by, you find that a lot more women will chase men than men chase women. So I feel like if the power is really in the pussy, then why is it that so many females, they completely lose themselves over men?
Well, define power, because I know we have different.
Power is energy. And when I say that, by that is, an energy is, how can I put it in words? I know what I'm trying to say, but energy is the ability to be able to do something. Mm-hmm. 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 That's what energy is, the ability to be able to do something.
So when you say pussy power, what does that look like from a female
perspective? From a female point of view, or from my point of view? Both. The pussy power would be just that. It would be the pussy having the ability to be able to do something, mm-hmm. to get something accomplished.
Oh, it does.
I mean, it does.
It
does. It absolutely does. But I feel like it's not as. I feel like it's very overrated.
What is?
Pussy.
It's overrated?
As far as the way people, for example, you'll see all on social media ass everywhere. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All up and down your timeline, you see females showing their butt, showing their ass. Mm-hmm. And is it really their ass? No, men is thinking about vagina. Having sex with her, mm-hmm. with her vagina, mm-hmm. right?
So the ass is really the power. That's the draw card, right?
I guess. Well, that's the tool.
Let's talk about that, because
so you know what I mean. So I'm like, okay, pussy power is I feel like the way we're using that power mm-hmm. is destroying it.
Well, let's look at it this way, okay? When you talk about the vagina, the pussy, it's not just that, because every woman has a vagina, every woman has a pussy, right? But the thing is, the pussy and or the penis is nothing more than an antenna. The stronger your antenna, the more you can plug into a frequency, okay? So, yeah, you can go inside of a woman and ooh and ah and bump and sweating, but the thing is that vagina or Yoni is a combination of her personality, her character, her ethics, her morality,
her troubles,
her sense of worth. Okay, and let's say you have someone that has none of that. To me, there's no power in the pussy, because the pussy alone is not the power. It's the individual that harnesses that energy within the vagina. So if you ain't shit, then you ain't got no pussy power, as far as I'm concerned. But that's from a male perspective. I don't know what it is from a female perspective, but I mean, in that scale of 0 to 10, and I know I use that a lot.
Do you feel like the penis has more power than the pussy?
No. I feel like, which one is greater, left or right? There is no greater. It's a comparative equal. Which one is greater, up or down? It's a comparative equal. So the thing is,
it depends on where you're standing.
Okay, if you're in a plane and your plane is about to go down, then of course, down is worse than up at that moment. What I'm saying is, there really is no greater. Not for the pimps and players out there. The Mac, oh yeah, that's going to be, that's ego. That's ego, because everybody's got to come out of that vagina. Now, if you get a C-section, you didn't get that experience, it's fine. But everybody has to come out of that vagina, and most of us men trying to get back into it. So you would say that really is the greater. But at the same time, if it's so great, then why is it that women is coming after the penis? So there is a balance that's there.
And if it's so great, why do you ladies feel like it should be like at McDonald's? Should I say? Like, it's not like fine dining. Like, it's not like if your pussy is that great, like when you go to an expensive restaurant, the prices are expensive because the food is good.
Quality.
If you have good pussy, then why are you offering it for free?
But again, good.
Or why is it like, so a man don't have to pay? It's just like he go through the dollar menu and then you offering him food.
But again, keep in mind,
I feel like it should be more. If the pussy has that much power, if your pussy has that much power, then it should be considered fine dining.
But again, that power is not in the vagina alone. The power is in the person. The power is in the personality. The power is in the individual. Just the vagina, that would be McDonald's. But the thing is, let's say a woman says, well, you know what? You have to be worth it to me to allow you to come into this temple and worship. Well, that's going to knock off 50% of regular men right there. So now you got the upper 50%. Listen, you got to be right, treat me right, be about something, bring something to the table. That's going to knock off another 20%. This is what makes, now, she may not be nothing in the actual exchange of energy from a vaginal perspective, but at least she gives you a quality presentation. Now, if she happens to be skilled or be gifted in that area too, now we're talking about the power of, because if you want to say so, there's a lot of guys out there paying for the entrance inside the temple. That ain't power. That's just weakness.
This is true.
That's weakness in the man.
That's
just weakness in the man. Why would I want to go behind and get into a vagina that umpteen other people have been into? That's not my definition of some good, powerful vagina. But when that person is of great moral fiber, when that person has a wonderful personality, when they have a charisma or an energy that exudes them, then they use that to bring you in and say, hey, this is who I am, this is what I can do, this is what I can do for you.
So you feel like the pussy should be like the cherry, the whipped cream on top?
I think it should be a representation of who you are. If you ain't shit, then it ain't shit. That's just to me. And I heard of all the entertainers out there who used to be strippers. Now they've become that has never ever been a point of stimulation for me. Somebody on a pole. I'm not judging. I've been to the strip club. I've seen it. But the fact is, the fact that you do that with any and everybody, to me, that ain't powerful pussy to me. It's not.
But what about if it's just dancing and not anything with anybody?
That doesn't happen. I mean, does that really happen where they're dancing and not doing anything with anybody? That's like the unicorn. I'm sure it's out there, but None of us have ever seen that, right? So the bottom line.
That's not accurate.
Well, give me some names. Give me some places. I'm going to go see this.
That's not accurate.
Tell me where to go.
I don't want to say everybody who want to pole dancing is fucking.
Okay. They are doing lap dances, right? Dry fucking. So they're doing something. It may not be the all together da-da-da-da. And tell you what, a lot of those women make more money from the other stuff they do than the lap dances. All right? Let's just get that real. So for a male, and I can't speak for all men. No man can. But for this male, I'm real specific about the Yoni that I enter. I'm real particular. I'm real anal, no pun intended, about who I enter and who I spend my time with. So I'm looking at the person. I'm looking at how you move in your life, how successful you are, and not that means anything, but you know.
And I think that does play a significant bearing, as you were saying, because you know you do have a lot of females who, you know, don't have no moral compass, but will make you spend your bread before they give up that pussy.
And what if you spent it? I mean, our men have become so lame. Back in my day, when I was coming up, in my time,
some of them,
in my time, if you had to pay to get a woman's sexual attention, you were a lame, and we shunned you. Okay. Bottom line is, if you got to pay for it, then what's up with you? So men have
now it's ladies out here paying for the dick too,
as it should be. I mean, as it should be, because you got the exchange going on. But that's their weakness, though. It's not because that's so great. That's their weakness. Bottom line is this: you can only be as good as your sexual organ. And again, if you ain't shit, I can't see myself being so awestruck by it if you ain't nothing.
Have you ever met someone who, once you had intimacy or once you had sex, like you found out they wasn't shit? Like they was the shit before the sex, and then after the sex.
You mean personality and all that stuff? Oh yeah. I've been disappointed on a number of occasions.
Yeah, I have been disappointed.
But
too.
guess what?
I have met someone, you know, a time or two, and they were the shit during that time, and then after the sex.
But guess what? If
they won't shit.
If they were about something, you still had a relationship. You still had something to cling on to, right? Yeah, we may not be intimate, but we still gonna be cool because I saw all the other stuff in you. You saw all the other stuff in me.
So you think it? So you do see that it is possible to have a friendly relationship with someone that you've had sex with previously?
Oh, absolutely. And you can be just the opposite. You can have a wonderful romantic
relationship. Because that's like a whole different topic. Like I've heard people say, no, once you have sex with someone, you can no longer be friends with
that's
them.
Not true.
Now I want to say
Sometimes
this. I'm cool. If we done had intimacy before, we done had sex before, we can still be friends. If we don't fuck with each other, it is most likely your fault. But outside of that, outside of that, we cool.
What does that mean?
That means for me, if I've had sex with someone, I don't mind having a platonic, as they would say, a platonic friendship where we could still keep moving and be cool. That's fine. But I don't want anyone to feel like it's okay to either disrespect me or do or say things that they're not the person that they say that they are. That's a pet peeve for me. That's a pet peeve for me. Like, if you are who you are, I'm cool, but don't pretend to be nobody else.
I get that.
I'm cool with that. And that would be the only way. Like if I had sexual intimacy with somebody and we're no longer speaking, it's because there was a misunderstanding, most likely on their part. And I would say this, if it was ever something that I felt like that it was disrespectful, if you don't communicate that, I won't know. But if I feel like, or I know I did, I'm a grown ass woman. I have no problem apologizing. I'm not one of the people that would not speak to you because I owe you an apology. I will communicate with you. So any and everybody I've ever had sex with, we still cool unless it was something that they did to me that I wasn't okay with.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So the power of the pussy, that is kind of a definition that can change person to person. A woman who's selling her vagina is going to say, yeah, the power's there because I'm making money off of it. The woman who's, choosing her partners carefully, she can say the power is there because of who I am internally. You know what I'm saying? A man can say, yeah, there's power there because before I met her, I wasn't acting and doing these things.
Yes.
And that don't mean it's power. That means, again, how you responded to it. You know what I'm saying? And there's a such thing as called being turned out. Is that because of the power of the pussy or the weakness of the person? You can be turned out on the penis. Is it because of the power of the penis or the weakness of the person or a combination of the two? And my thing is...
Do you think pheromones play a part in that?
Absolutely. Absolutely it does, because it's the whole see, smell, hear, taste, touch. Yes. And all of those things are stimulated simultaneously. Yes. Okay, and pheromones have a great... In fact, there's some science that says that a man can experience a woman's pheromones to up to 1 mile away. That is incredible. 1 mile away. I know there have been times back in the day, we were sitting on the porch, all the guys, and we might be looking this way, and at the same time, we'll all turn this direction, and we didn't see this woman coming, but we can feel something, obviously, halfway down the block. Well, who is that? That's the pheromones that are impacting us. And in all of colognes and perfumes, it is said, I don't know, could be alleged, that pig pheromones is the key element as the attracting element in perfumes and in cologne. Yeah, it might smell good, but it's the pig pheromones that they put in there that actually attract us. Now, I don't know how that works and why it's pig. But
and the reason why I had even, brought up a topic similar to this is because I was reading this post on I think it was Facebook. I should have screenshot it, but I was reading this post, and on a post this guy was expressing how his girl usually has this stingent odor, right? Good. He was like, but the thing about it is that she's confident about her body odor, and he's like, and even on some occasions it turns him on. When he's eating her out, she knows that it's a slight odor, but it doesn't bother her to the point where it makes her self-conscious.
Dang, it should have to do with him,
right? So what he was saying was, he was like, when he goes to eat her, when he goes to give her head, he's like, he'll smell it from time to time, but it unconsciously turns him on as well, her odor.
I think his nose did too. And
not if he's saying he's smelling it. So then he was on the post, he was expressing how this morning, not saying this morning, but when he made the post that specific morning, her smell was intensified. To the point where he was like, he almost it was very stringent. He was like, he even asked her, do you want to go take a shower? And she was like, nah, I'm good. Come on, let's go. Wow. So he was like, as he began to, eat her pussy, he was like, it was really, really tart. He was like, however, it low key turned him on. So I'm thinking if somebody had reposted the post and the caption was the pussy power, the power's in the pussy. And that's what made me think I mean, is it the pheromones? Is it the power of the pussy for real?
Think about this.
This is what brought this topic up for me.
Pheromones is different from smell. Because what if my nose is clogged up and I can't smell? I can still experiment. I can still experience pheromones and not be able to smell. You understand what I'm saying? So pheromones and scent, pheromones and odor, two different things. But in relation to what you said, personally, I can tell more about the power in the pussy through fellatio than I can through intercourse. I can get more into the power of
fellatio. Are you talking about giving her head?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I can, if I want to judge how powerful her vagina is, beside the fact her personality, because everything comes out in the juices. I can taste personality. I can taste morality. I can taste.
Can you really?
I can. I can't speak for nobody else, but I consider myself somebody who's very, I don't want to say expert to sound arrogant, but I'm very, very familiar. So when I'm there, there's so much pulsation of it, movement of it, response to it, response from it, juices, taste. I can get the power of it more so then than I can in the actual stroking aspect. You see what I'm saying? So power of it has all, everything that she is in a woman, I can experience it while I'm giving her fellatio. And I know that sounds strange, and it's, for some people say, okay, I don't get that. If you are really into,
I mean, that's the same. It's with sex too. It's not just, you know, in the oral pleasure of it. I mean, I can get how you can pick up a lot about a female.
I'm experiencing her
from that.
I'm experiencing her antenna, the power of it, the frequency of it. If you don't have no power in the antenna, I can't tune into any channels. But if you have, if I can tune into your frequency and that frequency is powerful, now I can go different channels in me. I'm going through different channels and yeah, you're responding, but this ain't about you. Let me experience the channels on your frequency. Thank you, Father. Okay. Hey, yes, sir, yes, sir. Let me experience the channels in your frequency. And now very few women will understand that. And when I'm done, they understand it just fine. They're like, that wasn't just you licking something. Something happened there. We experienced something. So for me, I can get more of the power out of a vagina.
I mean, everything is an exchange. Even a touch is.
It should be.
It should be.
It should be.
So I can definitely get how, even you know, you touching her, you rubbing your hands through her hair, even little stuff like that could definitely be a significant exchange.
And that she's pushing energy from her. You can hear it. Oh, it'll talk to you. She's pushing fluid, she's pushing energy. Everything is an exchange, as you said, and you can actually, you can feel the intangible energy coming from that. And you're not going to feel that from your average, okay, you know, woman that don't value herself.
And you know what? And just even me reflecting back on certain intimate situations, I think it's very similar. Not that I could taste that, you know, if he was okay or not, but more so my exchange is in the process of me riding. Okay. When I'm riding the dick, that's when I can almost read him.
Everybody has their different ways.
I can read him. I could tell. I could tell if he ain't shit. I could tell, you know what I mean? If I could tell if this gonna be the last time. I could tell if
I get it.
You know, even from the way he holds my waist.
There you go.
If I'm riding him, even the way he holds my waist, I can tell what kind of man he is.
The look in his eyes.
I could tell what kind of man he is.
The expression on his face.
You know, I can just, there's so much information, like you said, that antenna. Mine's is not so much if I'm sucking his dick or if he, you know what I mean, or if he on top or we mission. My receptors are when I'm riding. That's when my receptors are active.
And then you will know his power, because you decide what his power is. Because what you think his power is might be different from what he thinks it is. You understand what I'm saying? So when I'm there, I get to decide the power of her Yoni.
You know what I seen yesterday on social media? I seen everybody got a class for everything. Listen, I don't want to never hear nobody say that they don't know how to make no money. When I tell you, it's really a million ways out here to get money. I seen a post yesterday that a lady was doing a dick riding class. It was on Facebook, and she was the instructor, and her class was full, and it's coming to Richmond. I'm going to tag, it's coming to Richmond. She was in New York, and she was doing a class, and I'm assuming you had to bring your own pillow, because all the ladies had pillows on the floor. And she was doing almost like a Zumba class, was kind of like the scenario. And she was like, 1, 2, 3, 4. And she was like showing you how to ride. And then she hopped on her hands. And then she was like, and then everybody in the class was following suit. There was a lady, and it's coming to Richmond, teaching a dick riding class. I don't want to never hear nobody say that they can't make no money.
I mean, yeah, there's always going to be how can I say it? We brought it to a beast level though, because for me, and hey, I'm not judging anybody. Do what you
No,
do.
that's some beast shit.
No. What my thing is for me, it's about the spiritual aspect. My days, and I don't even think I had those days. My days of just jumping on something, you bouncing on top of me. No, it's not going to happen. That's not going to happen if you don't have the internal, intangible qualities that I can feel either while I'm in or face first. If I can't feel that, and I will know that prior to us getting to that point, then the whole bouncing around and then backing it up and then clapping and all that.
We had brought up a previous topic, and it's so crazy that I seen it was another post, of course, because social media just show you everything that you're thinking about. And so this lady was an older lady. She was walking down the block in New York. She had her phone, and she was like, when you get 40 is when your vagina turns into a pussy. She was like, you little 20-year-old, 30-year-old, see what y'all got is y'all got vagina. She said, when you get 40, you get a pussy. She said, now let me tell you the difference. She said, when you 20 and when you 30 years old, she said, she was making a whole bunch of different points. I can't even spit them out verbatim. But she was like, you know, it come 20 and 30-year-old vaginas, that's when you got to check for a man and you got to wonder where he at. She said, us 40-year-old pussies, we just want you to be available when we call. That's what a pussy is in a vagina. So she was just, not everything she was saying was right and exact, but it stimulated the question, you know, at what point do it goes from a vagina to a pussy?
Everybody has their way of being able to describe and the impact of that. Let me tell you something. Hear me.
I'm listening.
Hear me well. I'm gonna tell you 3 things I check first. Let's say she fine as all get out. I am not impressed. Number 1, is she a good person? Is she a good human being? Because believe it or not, good person and good human being, 2 different things.
Yes, they are.
And
2 different
are
things.
they plugged into a positive energy, period? Whether it be God energy, good energy, whatever you want to call it. If those 3 things, or at least 2 out of 3 things, are not in place, no go. No go. Then you got to consider the basic fundamentals. No vaccinations, you know, you got to be healthy, da-da-da-da-da-da. But then again, smart, sharp, brilliant, intelligent, genius, and wise. You got to give me smart, sharp, intelligent, brilliant, genius, and wise. Segments of smart, sharp, intelligent, brilliant, genius, and wise. If none of that is going on, we can't even get to let me take out the lunch. Let me take out the breakfast. No. Because for me and so many others out there, it's about, I got to have these intangibles before we can move to anything else. Because otherwise, it might be a one and done. I don't want one and done. So I might catch a body, as you call it.
Yeah, we call them bodies.
Not catching no
and the
bodies.
reason why we call them bodies is because after you fuck them, they dead to you.
See,
Okay,
I don't
that's
want
what we
that.
call bodies. We not out here catching no bodies. 2022, no bodies.
So if they're not a good person, if they're not a good human being, if they're not plugged into good energy, I gotta pass. No matter what no matter what the outcome might have been, I gotta pass.
Have you ever moved forward with somebody based on their potential? And they didn't have none of that?
And none of what?
Those that you just named. The potential was just there.
Of course. But as I'm becoming more wise, as I'm becoming more mature, why align your energy? Why align your spirit and your soul with somebody who is not measuring up? And this is not arrogance. Measuring up to what you need intangibly or what you want. I don't want to mix my energy with something that's not sort of my energy.
Yeah, and that's my thing too. Like,
and guess what that makes? That gives me some semi-good dick right there. So, I mean, because I'm selective.
Yeah.
Because if anybody can get to it,
yeah.
But now I'm cutting off 60% of the women right there.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Go ahead though.
And I agree. Like for me, if I don't see any value in the dick, it's a turn off. I don't want it. Like there's not. And when I say value, I don't just mean financially. You know. I mean, it has to contribute to my growth and development in some facet.
Even if it's short term.
It has to, even if it's short term. Because for me, even with my clients, even with no matter who it is, it has to be an exchange of energy. It has to be an exchange of energy. Like I was saying before, I don't want to just be exerting my energy and I don't feel like I'm being replenished, because then after a while I'm gonna tap out. I'm gonna be done. You know what I mean? Then at the same time, I'm not gonna keep going. I don't feel comfortable just pulling from a source, and I'm not able to contribute in no facet. So for me, it has to be an exchange of energy. So with me sexually, I know that I'm giving an abundance of energy, because when I am sexually when I'm in that space, I'm literally gone. Like, I'm not in this world. I don't see nothing. I don't hear nothing. I'm completely engulfed in that sexual exchange.
But imagine
and
being
I
there.
expect.
Yeah, but imagine being there and it's not coming back at you.
That's what I'm saying. But that's exactly what I'm saying. I don't, and I have been in a space where I have had sex with someone and I did not, and I was not being replenished.
And that's a one and done.
And that was those one and dones. That's those one and dones. Ain't no way that we're in a space and we're supposed to be exchanging energy, and I'm just
one thing.
And you just
when I teach in relationship classes is this. Relationship therapy classes is this. You have to be able to relate in order to have a relationship. What is relating? We get along. Okay? I respect you, you respect me. I at least like you, you like me. I have some type of care and concern for your well-being. That's the start of relating. If that's there consistently, then that's grounds to have a relationship. You cannot have a relationship if you cannot relate.
But here's the thing about it. Relationships come in many forms.
Correct.
Like, the thing about it is that that's especially with our generation. As soon as we meet someone, we want to be in a relationship with them. But you are choosing the wrong relationship. A friendship.
Oh no, that's a relationship too.
Two females.
That's a relationship.
Is a relationship.
It's the same thing.
You can work with someone.
You gotta relate.
That's your coworker. You can have a relationship with your coworker.
Relate to each other.
You have relationships with your parents. You have relationships with any and everyone that you keep within your cipher or your space.
And that's what I'm saying.
You have a relationship with them. The thing about it is, it does not have to be like. Let me also tell you this. If any and every, even way long before I met my husband, any man that I've ever been in a space with seriously, I start at 100. Like I was telling you this before. I start at 100. Right. So when I meet a man, I'm not guarded. I would in some facet slight vulnerable. I mean, I'm not gonna let you spin me, but at the same time, when I meet a man, I'm not the type that be like, oh, you know, I've been hurt by my ex and da-da. No, I'm not like that. So when I meet you, and even with my female friends, I've been so many female friends who fucked themselves out of a good relationship with me. Why? Because it was not an exchange. It was not an exchange, because I went into the relationship with 100% and she didn't. Or he didn't. And you know what happens? energy has to rise. Energy rises just like the temperature. It rises. So if I'm here, if I'm here, and I'm giving you this, and you're down here, and you're rising to meet my energy. What's happening is mine is going down because we're not exchanging energies. You feel what I'm saying? So any friendship I've ever, whether it was a man or a woman, I've always went into it with 100%, and I let them fuck themselves to zero. But when you're exchanging that much energy, you know, that's power. Energy is power, and power. So let me ask you this.
This is good subject matter. I like this. Is it the power of the vagina, or is it the power of her?
It's the power. I really honestly feel like it's the power of her.
Because for me, I don't feel like
it's the power of the pussy. It's not.
The power of the pussy is her.
That has been that has not been quite accurate. Like, that's not, you know, that's like when they say the root of all evil is money. Like, that's not how that goes. You know what I mean? That has been construed to or manipulated to make it work for people. But no, that's not how it is.
The reason I say it is this because
it's the power of her, most definitely.
The power of her, because guess what? We can, and I know this sounds kind of lame, but man, stay with me, please. We can lay on the couch and cuddle. We can cuddle, talk. We got all this energy going between us. We ain't got our clothes off.
I have never met a man that I laid on the couch with and I didn't feel him poking me from behind.
I'm sorry to hear that. I'm really, really sorry. That's really, really savage. But my thing is this. Come on now.
Y'all can cuddle?
Don't say that. That is so sexist. That's horrible. Listen. And this is recent, okay? Where I asked a woman, I said, what is your number one thing to do sexually? You know what she told me? Being face to face, talking intimately, embraced, ain't got to be naked, experiencing you or me experiencing you, because that's more powerful oftentimes, than the sensual expression aspect. But it's got to be reciprocal.
Yeah.
Because if I'm getting it and she getting it and I'm not, it's not there. But if that is the most powerful, it drives the sensual expression. It makes me, tell you what, that makes me, okay? That is that exchange, that intimate, intangible exchange, and we ain't touched each other yet. That makes it worth this, because if I can't get that from you, and it ain't got to be a marriage, it ain't got to be long. If we're gonna be together 8 weeks, if I can't get that from you, you're not worthy of this, because this will respond on its own as you relate to me, you know, intangibly. This is a barometer of how I'm feeling. This is a barometer of how I'm feeling. And if this ain't responding, it's because I'm not getting it here and here. And I said, that's a person that really understands. Yeah, this here, what I'm getting from you, clothes on the couch, talking, finding out, discovering each other. Now I want to do something. Now, you know what? Yeah, let's see what's happening. And then that's going to multiply a simple sensual expression session. It's going to multiply, because now you got intimacy. Now you have affection. Now you got some passion. Because if all that is missing, then you just made a trade, $100 for a quick or whatever they paying.
Do you feel like within the first few minutes of meeting someone, like, okay, for example, they say females know within the first minute,
I don't have that gift.
Within the first minute or the first 30 seconds of meeting a man, we know if we're going to give him the pussy or not, right? Within the first couple of minutes of meeting a man, we know, he gonna get it,
or he can get it.
He can get it, or nah. So does that happen for men? Do you know within the first few minutes if she is worthy of this?
Listen, I can't speak for men. No man can. I can speak for me, and some men might be able to relate. I don't have that gift. Oh, she fine, she can get it. I got to hear what she's saying. I got to see somebody what she doing, how she living, how she moving, competence, confidence, patience, charisma. I can't just make that. That's why I can't get with a stranger. I can't fool with a stranger. I got to see something, okay? And depending upon all of that, then I might be able to say, oh yeah, she can get it. But it ain't. I don't have that gift where a woman can say, oh, I meet him 30 seconds later. Oh, he can get it, girl. I don't have that gift, and I'm not that pressed for some Yoni for me to go. I can't add it up that quick.
And that's where the beginning of the show, we were talking about, for those of you that's just tuning in the beginning of the show, we were talking about self-pleasure. We got 25 seconds. We were talking about self-pleasure. We were talking about self-pleasure, and that's what it does. Self-pleasure allows you to minimize any kind of unwanted interaction.
There you go.
Or any kind of unwanted energy. So we're going to see you next Wednesday at 12. For all of you that's tuned in, next Wednesday, we're going to be here, Pussy Power Hour, every Wednesday at 12. Don't forget to tune in and tap in.
And remember that next